Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we've got this really fascinating stack of notes focusing on a key bit of English grammar, the second conditional. And look, this isn't just about boring rules. It's really about unlocking new ways to talk about hypothetical stuff, dreams, those what-if moments.
Exactly. It's a brilliant structure, actually. The second conditional lets us talk about situations. Well, situations that are unreal or pretty improbable right now or maybe in the future. And then, of course, the results of those situations, which are just as unreal. It's a fantastic tool for, imagination, reflection.
Exploring possibilities. Okay, let's get into it. The notes give us this core structure. If plus past simple, would or might plus verb, the base form of the verb. And there's a clear example right away. If Robert worked less, he would be less stressed. Simple, clear, paints a picture.
It really does. And that past simple part in the if clause, that's the clever bit. It looks like the past, but we're using it to talk about a hypothetical present or future. It signals this isn't real. Now, there are a couple of crucial details here from the notes we need to flag. First, with the verb to be, you have to use were for everyone.
Everyone. So if I were, if she were, if he were, always were.
Always were in the if clause for the second conditional. It's a specific marker. And the second big one, a real non-negotiable. Never, ever use would right after if.
Right. So it's if I had, not if I would have.
Precisely. You keep the would for the result part of the sentence.
Okay, so that were for everyone, that really hammers home the hypothetical feel, doesn't it? It's like a little flag saying we're imagining things.
It is. It's a leftover from the subjunctive mood, technically, which English mostly lost, but we kept it here specifically to signal unreality. Very useful.
And the no would after if rule, why is that so strict? Just for clarity.
Yeah, mostly clarity and avoiding redundancy. Would already signals the hypothetical result. Putting it in the if part too just muddies the water. The structure keeps the condition and the result distinct. Condition, unreal past simple. Result, would plus verb, clean.
Makes sense. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The notes use this character, Robert, and put him in all sorts of situations. Let's look at his career first. He imagines stuff like, if he earned more money, he would travel every summer. That's a common one. Or even bigger changes, like if he didn't love teaching, he would change jobs. That's quite fundamental.
It is. And think about the motivation aspect, too. If his students participated more, he would feel more motivated.
Yeah, or the environment. If the school had better resources, he would teach more creatively.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how these structures let us voice dissatisfaction, maybe, or aspirations at least. They allow us to kind of build these little mental models of a better or different situation. It helps clarify what we actually want, maybe even subconsciously.
So just thinking it through, like if X were different, I would do Y. That process itself helps clarify things, even if X never changes.
I think so, absolutely. It can definitely sharpen your focus on what you value or dislike about your current reality. It's not just daydreaming, it's like active mental exploration.
Okay, let's move into more personal stuff. The notes cover Robert's personal life and then his dreams and fantasies. For his personal life, we see things like, if Robert lived near the beach, he would surf every morning. Sounds nice.
Doesn't it? Or if he had more free time, he would learn to play the guitar.
Yeah, and relational things too. If he weren't so busy, he would visit his family more often. That hits home for many, I bet.
And practical skills. If he knew how to cook better, he would invite friends for dinner.
Or mobility. If he bought a car, he would drive to the countryside on weekends. Lots of lifestyle changes there.
Definitely paints a picture of a desired life.
And then the big ones. The dreams and fantasies. This is where it gets ambitious. If Robert won the lottery, he would open a free English school.
Yeah, that's quite a statement of values, isn't it?
Totally. Or if he could live anywhere, he would choose New Zealand.
Specific. And powerful stuff, too. If he met the president, he would suggest education reforms.
And superpowers. If he had a superpower, he would speak all languages fluently. As language learners, we can relate.
Oh, absolutely. In this one. If he were famous, he would donate money to charities. You see, connecting this to the bigger picture, these examples show it's not just grammar. It's expressing deep wishes, values. It's running thought experiments. How would I act if things were drastically different? If I had immense power or wealth? It raises a really interesting question, I think. How does imagining these huge what-ifs, even impossible ones, actually influence how we think or act now?
That's deep. Does imagining you donate millions if you won the lottery make you maybe a bit more generous with the little you have now, perhaps?
It could. or at least clarifies that generosity is a core value for you, which might manifest in other ways. It's revealing.
Okay, let's bring it back slightly to his professional world again. The teaching and students section. Here, he uses it to think about improving things. If Robert's students practiced more, they would improve faster. Direct cause and effect.
Right, or systemic issues. If exams weren't so stressful, students would enjoy learning more. That's a big discussion in education.
And tech. If he taught online, he would reach more students worldwide, expanding reach.
Even the physical space. If the classroom had a view, everyone would feel inspired. It shows how environment matters.
So it seems like he's using it here almost like problem solving, visualizing ideal conditions.
That's a great way to put it, hypothetical problem solving. He's identifying factors that, if changed, would lead to better results. It's strategic thinking, in a way.
Identifying leverage points, maybe. Okay, the notes then shift again, looking at situaciones negativas, negative scenarios, and consejos y reflexiones, advice and reflections. On the negative side, he thinks about challenges. If Robert lost his job, he would look for opportunities abroad. Contingency planning.
Exactly, or foundational stuff. If he didn't have a degree, he wouldn't be able to teach at universities. Recognizing prerequisites.
Interpersonal friction. If his students didn't respect him, he would quit teaching. Setting boundaries, perhaps?
And big external shocks. If the internet disappeared, he would struggle to teach online. That feels relevant somehow these days.
It's just, and even quirky ones. If he were allergic to chalk, he would use only digital boards, adapting to constraints.
Then you flip it, and it becomes a tool for advice and reflection.
Right, like putting yourself in someone else's shoes. If Robert were you, he would practice speaking every day. That's direct advice using the structure.
Or, if you asked him for advice, he would tell you to read more. Standard teacher advice.
Yes. And then more reflective. If he had a time machine, he would correct his past mistakes. The classic time travel hypothetical.
And broad wishes. If English were easier, everyone would speak it perfectly.
And a really powerful one to end on. If Robert could change one thing, he would eliminate language barriers. That's a big aspiration.
It is, and these last two sets of examples really show the practical power, right? You can express caution, plan for things going wrong, offer really empathetic advice by using that if I were your structure. It really makes you think, how does considering these potential negatives, even the unlikely ones, help us? Does it make us appreciate the present or just better prepared?
I think both, probably.
Yeah.
That mental fire drill idea we touched on. If you thought, if X bad thing happened, I would do Y, it somehow feels less terrifying if X actually occurs. You've got a starting point.
You've mentally rehearsed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So after all this, what's the big takeaway for you listening? Well, getting comfortable with the second conditional really empowers you. It lets you articulate all these complex what-ifs, whether that's, just thinking about your own dreams or planning at work or even just having a bit of fun imagining crazy scenarios. It adds a whole layer to your expression.
Absolutely. Once you've internalized that basic pattern, if plus past simple, would or might plus verb, and you remember that special where rule for to be, you've got it. You really do have the tools then to talk about this huge range of possibilities that aren't quite real yet, perhaps, or maybe never will be, but are still worth exploring in thought.
So we'll leave you with something to chew on, a final thought for your own exploration. If you could master just one hypothetical what-if scenario, one second conditional sentence that could change something important either in your life or maybe even in the world, what would it be? And crucially, how would you phrase it using this structure we've unpacked today? Something to think about. Keep exploring language.
Robert English Coach.